What happens when middle school turns into a battlefield of popularity, pranks, and the legendary cheese touch? Meet Greg Heffley in Diary of Wimpy Kid, the hilarious story of every kid's struggle to survive school. Please subscribe. If I can pack on some muscles, now it'll be a whole different story next April. Tonight after dinner, I got mom and dad together and told them my plan. I told them I was going to need some serious exercise equipment and some weight gain powder too. I showed them some muscle magazines I got at the store. They could see how ripped I was going to be. Mom didn't really say anything at first, but dad was pretty enthusiastic. I think he was just glad I had a change of heart from how I used to be when I was a kid. But mom said if I wanted a weight set, I was going to have to prove that I could stick with an exercise regimen. She said I could do that by doing sit ups and jumping jacks for 2 weeks. I had to explain that the only way to get totally bulked up is to get the kind of high tech machines they have at the gym. But mom didn't want to hear it. Then dad said if I wanted a bench press, I should keep my fingers crossed for Christmas. But Christmas is a month and a half away. If I get pinned by Fregley one more time, I am gonna have a nervous breakdown. So it looks like mom and dad aren't going to be any help, and that means I am going to have to take matters into my own hands. As usual, Saturday. I couldn't wait to start my weight training program today. Even though mom wouldn't let me get the equipment I needed, I wasn't going to let that hold me back. So I went into the fridge and emptied out the milk and orange juice and filled the jugs with sand. Then I taped them to the broomstick and I had myself a pretty decent barbell. After that, I made a bench press out of an ironing board and some boxes. Once I had that all set, I was ready to do some serious lifting. I needed a spotting partner, so I called Rowley, and when he showed up at my door wearing some ridiculous get-up, I knew I made a mistake inviting him. I made Rowley use the bench press first, mostly because I wanted to see if the broomstick was going to hold up. He did about 5 reps and he was ready to quit. But I wouldn't let him. That's what a good training partner is for, to push you beyond your limits. I knew Rowley wasn't going to be as serious as about weightlifting. I was so I decided to try out an experiment to test his dedication. In the middle of Rowley's set, I went and got this phony nose and mustache Roderick has in his junk drawer. And right when Rowley had the barbell in the down position, leaned over and looked at him. Sure enough, Rowley totally lost his concentration. He couldn't even get the barbell off his chest. I thought about helping him out, but then I realized that if Rowley didn't get serious about working out, he was never going to get my level. I eventually had to rescue him because he started biting the milk jug to let the sand leak out. After Rowley got off the bench press, it was time for my set. But Rowley said he didn't feel like working out anymore and he went home. I figured he'd pull up something like that. But I guess you can't expect everyone to have the same kind of dedication as you. Wednesday. Today in geography we had a quiz, and I have to say I have been looking forward to this one for a long time. The quiz on the state capital, and I sat in the back of the room, right next to this giant map of the United States. All the capitals are written in big red print, so I knew I had this one in the bag. But right before the test got started, Patty Farwell piped up from the front of the room. Patty told Mr. Ira that he should cover up the United States map before we got started. So thanks to Patty, I ended up flunking the quiz. And I will definitely be looking for a way to pay her back for that one. Thursday. Tonight mom came up to my room and she had a flyer in her hand. As soon as I saw it, I knew exactly what it was. It was an announcement that the school is having a tryout for winter play. Man, I should have thrown that thing out when I saw it on the table. I begged her not to make me sign up. Those school plays are always musicals, and the last thing I need is to have to sing a solo in front of the whole school. But all my begging seemed to do was make mom more sure I should do it. Mom said the only way I was going to be well rounded was by trying different things. Dad came in my room to see what was going on. I told Dad that Mom was making me sign up for the school play and that if I had to start going to play practices, it would totally mess up my weightlifting schedule. I knew that that would make Dad take my side. Dad and Mom argued for a few minutes, but Dad was no match for Mom. So that means tomorrow I am going to audition for the school play. Friday. The play they are doing this year is Wizard of Oz. A lot of kids came wearing costumes for the part they were trying out for. I have never even seen the movie. So for me, it was like walking into a freak show. Mrs. Norton, the music director, made everyone sing My Country is Top 3 so she could hear our singing voices. I did my singing tryouts with a bunch of other boys whose mom made them come too. I tried to sing as quietly as possible, but of course I got singled out. Anyway, I have no idea what a soprano is, but from the way some of the girls were giggling, I knew it wasn't a good thing. Tryouts went on forever. The grand finale came with the audition for Dorothy, who I guess is the lead character in the play, and who should try out first. But Patty Farewell, I thought about trying out for the part of the witch because I heard that in the play, the witch does all sorts of mean things to the Dorothy. But then somebody told me that there's a good witch and a bad witch. And with my luck, I'd end up getting picked to be the good one. Monday, I was hoping Mrs. Norton would just cut me from the play. But today she said that everyone who tried out is going to get a part. So lucky me. Mrs. Norton showed the Wizard of Oz movie so everyone would know the story. I was trying to figure out what part I should play. But pretty much every character has to sing or dance at one point or another. But halfway through the movie, I figured out what part I wanted to sign up for. I am going to sign up to be a tree because one, they don't have to sing or and two, they get to beat Dorothy with apples. Getting to beg Patty farewell with apples in front of live audience would be my dream come true. I may actually have to thank mom for making me do this play once it's all over. After the movie ended, I signed up to be a tree. Unfortunately, a bunch of other guys had the same idea as me, so I guess there are a lot of guys who are born to pick with Patty Farrell. Wednesday. Well, like mom always says, be careful what you wish for. I got picked to be a tree, but I don't know if that's such a good thing. The tree costumes don't actually have armholes, so I guess that rules out any apple throwing. I should probably feel lucky that I got a speaking part at all. They had too many kids trying out and not enough roles, so they had to start making up characters. Rodney James tried out to be the Tin Man, but he got stuck with being the shrub. Friday. Remember how I said I was lucky to get a speaking part? Well, today I found out I only have one line in the whole play. I say it when Dorothy picks an apple off my branch. That means I have to go to 2 hour practice every day just so I can say one stupid word. I'm starting to think Rodney James got a better deal as the shrub. He found a way to sneak a video game into his costume, and I will bet that really makes the time go by. So now I'm trying to think of ways to get Mrs. Norton to kick me out of the play. But when you only have one word to say, it's really hard to mess up your lines. Thursday. The play is only a couple of days away, and I have no idea how we are going to pull this thing off. First of all, nobody has bothered to learn their lines, and that's all Mrs. Norton's fault. During rehearsal, Mrs. Norton whispers everyone's line to them from the side of the stage. I wonder how it's going to be on next Tuesday when Mrs. Norton is sitting at her piano 30 feet away. Another thing that's screwing everything up is that Mrs. Norton keeps adding new scenes and new characters. Yesterday she bought in this first grader to play Dorothy's dog, Toto, but today the kid's mom came in and said she wanted her child to walk around on 2 legs because crawling around on all fours would be too degrading. So we got a dog that's going to be walking around on his hind legs for the whole show. But the worst change is that Mrs. Norton actually wrote a song that us trees have to sing. She said everyone deserves a chance to sing in the play. So today we spent an hour learning the worst song that's ever been written. Thank God Roderick won't be in the audience to see me humiliate myself. Mrs. Norton said the play is going to be a semi-formal occasion, and I know there's no way Roderick is going to be there. Wear a tie for middle school play, but today wasn't all bad. Toward the end of practice, Archie Kelly tripped over Rodney James. Tuesday. Tonight was the big school production of The Wizard of Oz. The first sign that the things were not going to go well happened before the play even started. I was peeking through the curtains to check out how many people showed up to see the play. And guess who was standing right up front? My brother, Roderick. Wearing a clip-on tie, he must have found out I was singing and he couldn't resist the chance to see me embarrass myself. The play was supposed to start at 8 o'clock, but it got delayed because Rodney James had stage fright. You'd figure that someone whose job it was to sit on the stage and do nothing could just suck it up for a one performance. But Rodney wouldn't budge, and eventually his mom had to carry him off. The play finally got started around 8:30. Nobody could remember their lines, just like I predicted, but Mrs. Norton kept things moving along with her piano. The kid who played Toto brought a stool and a pile of comic books onto the stage, and that totally ruined the whole dog effect. It was time for the forest scene. Me and the other trees hopped into our positions. The curtains rose, and when they did, I heard Manny's voice. Great, I have been able to keep that nickname quiet for 5 years, and now all of the sudden, the whole town knew it. I could feel about 300 pairs of eyeballs pointed my way. So I did some quick ad billing and I was able to deflect the embarrassment over to Archie Kelly. But the major embarrassment was still on the way. When I heard Mrs. Norton play the first few bars of V3 Trees, I felt my stomach jump and I looked at the audience. And I noticed Roderick was holding a video camera. I knew that if I sang the song and Roderick recorded it, he would keep the tape forever and use it to humiliate me for the rest of my life. I didn't know what to do, so when the time came to start singing, I just kept my mouth shut. For a few seconds, there things went okay. So I figured that if I didn't technically sing the song, then Roderick wouldn't have anything to hold over my head. But after a few seconds, the other trees noticed I wasn't singing. I guess they must have thought I knew something that they didn't. So they stopped singing too. Now the three of us were just standing there, not saying a word. Mrs. Norton must have thought we forgot the words to the song because she came over to the side of the stage and whispered the rest of the lyrics to us. The song is only about 3 minutes long, but to me it felt like an hour and a half. I was just praying the curtains would go down so we could hop off the stage. That's when I noticed Patty Farewell standing in the wings, and if Luke could kill her, us trees would be dead. She probably thought we were ruining her chances of making it to the Broadway or something. Seeing Patty standing there reminded me why I signed up to be a tree in the first place. Pretty soon, the rest of the trees started throwing apples too. I think Toto even got in the act. Somebody knocked the glasses off Patty's head and one of the lenses broke. Mrs. Norton had to shut down the whole play after that because Patty cannot see 2 feet in front of her without her glasses. After the play was over, my family went home together. Mom had bought a bucket of flowers and I guess they were supposed to be for me. But she ended up tossing them in the trash can on the way out the door. I just hope that everyone who came to see the play was as entertained as I was. Wednesday. Well, if one good thing came out of the play, it's that I don't have to worry about the Bubby nickname anymore. I saw Archie Kelly getting hassled in the hallway after 5th period today, so it looks like I can finally start to breathe a little easier. Sunday. With all this stuff going on at school, I haven't even had time to think about Christmas, and it's less than 10 days away. In fact, the only thing that tipped me off the Christmas was coming was when Roderick put his wish list up on the refrigerator. I usually make a big wish list every year, but this Christmas, all I really want is this video game called Twisted Wizard. Tonight, Manny was going through the Christmas catalog, picking out all the stuff he wants with a big red marker. Manny was circling every single toy in the catalog. He was even circling really expensive things like a giant motorized car and stuff like that. So I decided to step in and give him some good big brotherly advice. I told him that if he circled stuff that was too expensive, he was going to end up with a bunch of clothes for Christmas. I said he should just pick 3 or 4 medium priced gifts so he would end up with a couple of things he actually wanted. But of course, Manny just went back to circling everything again. So I guess he'll be just have to learn the hard way. When I was 7, the only thing I really wanted for Christmas was a Barbie dream house. And not because I like girls' toys, like Roderick said. I just thought it would be a really awesome fort for my toy circles when mom and dad saw my wish list. That year, they got in a big fight over it. Dad said there was no way he was getting me a dollhouse, but mom said it was healthy for me to experiment with whatever kind of toys I wanted to play with. Believe it or not, Dad actually won that argument. Dad told me to start my wish list over and pick some toys that were more appropriate for boys. But I have a secret weapon when it comes to Christmas. My Uncle Charlie always gets me whatever I want. I told him I wanted the Barbie dream house, and he said he'd hook me up. On Christmas, when Uncle Charlie gave me my gift, it was not what I asked for. He must have walked into the toy store and picked up the first thing he saw that had the word Barbie on it. So, if you have ever seen me a picture of where I am holding a beach fun Barbie, now at least you know why the whole. Dad wasn't real happy when he saw what Uncle Charlie got me. He told me to either throw it out or give it away to charity. But I kept it anyway. And okay, I admit maybe I took it out and played with it once or twice. That's how I ended up in the emergency room 2 weeks later with a pink Barbie shoe stuck up in my nose. And believe me, Roderick has never lent me hear the end of that. Thursday, tonight my mom and dad went out to get a gift for the giving tree at church. The giving tree is basically a secret Santa kind of a thing, where you get a gift for someone who is needy. Mom picked out a red wool sweater for our giving tree guy. I tried to talk mom into getting something a lot cooler, like a TV or a slushy machine, or something like that. Because imagine if all you got on Christmas was a wool sweater. I'm sure our giving tree guy will throw his sweater in the trash along with the 10 cans of yam we sent his way during the Thanksgiving food drive. Christmas. When I woke up this morning and went downstairs, there were about 1 million gifts under the Christmas tree. But when I started digging around, there were hardly any gifts with my name on them. But Manny made out like a bandit. He got every single thing he circled in the catalog. No lie, so I'll bet he's glad he didn't listen to me. I did find a couple of things with my name on them, but they were mostly books and socks and stuff like that. I opened my gift in the corner behind the couch because I don't like opening gifts near Dad. Whenever someone's opening a gift, Dad swoops in right and cleans up after them. I gave Manny a little toy helicopter and I gave Roderick a book about rock bands. Roderick gave took book too, but of course he didn't wrap it. The book he got was Best of Little Cute. Little Cute is the worst comic in the newspaper, and Roderick knows how much I hate it. I think this is the 4th year in the row I have gotten the Little Cute. I gave mom and dad their gifts. I get them the same kind of thing every year, but parents eat that stuff up. The rest of the relatives started showing up around 11 o'clock, and Uncle Charlie came at me. Uncle Charlie bought a big trash bag full of gifts, and he pulled up my present out of the top of the bag. The package was the exact right size and shape to be a twisted wizard game. So I knew Uncle Charlie came through for me. Mom got the camera ready and I tore open my gift, but it was just an 8 by 8 10 picture of Uncle Charlie. I guess I didn't do a good job of hiding my disappointment and mom got all mad. All I can say is I'm glad I'm still a kid. Because if I had to act up happy about the kind of gifts grown up get, I don't think I could pull it off. I went up to my room and took a break for a while. A couple of minutes later, Dad knocked on my door. He told me he had my gift for me out in the garage. And the reason it was out there was because it was too big to wrap. That thing must have cost a fortune. I didn't have the heart to tell Dad that I kind of lost interest in the whole weightlifting thing when the wrestling unit ended last week, so I just said thanks instead. I think Dad was expecting me to drop down and start doing some reps or something. But I just excused myself and went back inside at about 6. All the relatives cleared out. I was sitting on the couch watching Manny play with his toys, feeling pretty sorry for myself. Then mom came up to me and said that she found a gift behind the piano with my name on it and said it was from Santa. The box was way too big for Twisted Wizard. But mom pulled the same big box trick on me last year when she got me a memory card for my video game system. So I ripped open the package and pulled out my present. Only this wasn't Twisted Wizard either. It was a giant red wool sweater. At first, I thought mom was playing some kind of practical joke on me because this sweater was the same kind we bought for our giving tree guy. But mom seemed pretty confused too. She said she did buy me a video game and that she had no idea what the sweater was doing in my box. And then I figured it out. I told mom there must have been some kind of mix up and I got the giving tree guy's gift and he got mine. Mom said she used the same kind of wrapping paper for both of her gifts. So she must have written the wrong names on both of the tags. But then mom said that this was really a good thing because the giving tree guy was probably really happy he got us such a great gift. I had to explain that you need a game system and a TV to play Twisted Wizard so that the game was totally useless to him. Even though my Christmas was not going that great, I am sure it was going a whole lot worse for the giving tree guy. I kind of decided to throw in the towel for this Christmas and I headed up to Rowley's house. I forgot to get a gift for him, so I just slapped a burn on the little Tweety book Roderick gave me and that seemed to do the trick. Rowley's. Rowley's parents have a lot of money, so I can always count on them for a good gift. But Rowley said that this year he picked out my gift himself. Then he brought me outside to show me what it was. From the way Rowley was hyping his present, I thought he must have gotten me a big screen TV or a motorbike cycle or something. But once again, I let my hopes get too high. Rowley got me a bike wheel. I guess I would have thought this was a cool gift when I was in the 3rd grade. But I have no idea what I am supposed to do with one now. Rowley was so enthusiastic about it that I tried my best to act like I was happy. Anyway, we went back inside and Rowley showed me his Christmas loot. He sure got a lot more stuff than I did. He even got a Twisted Wizard. So at least I can play it when I come up to his house. That is until Rowley's dad finds out how violent it is. And boy, you have never seen someone as happy as Rowley with his little cutie book. His mom said it was the only thing on his list that he didn't get. Well, I am glad someone got what they wanted today. New Year's Eve. In case you have wondered what I'm doing in my room at 9 p.m. on New Year's Eve, let me fill you in. Earlier today, Manny and I were horsing around the room in the basement. I found a tiny black ball of thread on the carpet and I told Manny it was a spider. Then I held it over him, pretending it like I was going to make him eat it. Right when I was about to let Manny go, he slapped my hand and made me drop the thread. And guess what? The fool swallowed it. Well, Manny completely lost his mind. He ran upstairs to where mom was, and I knew I was in big trouble. Manny told mom what I made him eat, a spider. I told her there was no spider and that it was just a tiny ball of thread. Mom brought Manny over to the kitchen table. Then she put a seed, a raisin, and a grape on a table and told Manny to point to the thing that was the closest in size to the piece of thread he swallowed. Manny took a while to look over the things on the plate. Then he walked over to the refrigerator and pulled out an orange. So that's why I got sent to bed at 7 and I'm not downstairs watching the New Year's Eve special on TV. And that's also why my only New Year's Eve resolution is not to play with Manny again. Love Wimpy Kid stories? Hit that like and subscribe button and share this video with all Wimpy Kid fans.